Hey, it's Market Magnetic here, and I'm just making a quick video because there's something that I've noticed lately, something that a lot of businesses do that cost them sales they should have got. And it's really easy to fix. Unfortunately, I've seen it happen to people in our community, our clients, and even within our own businesses where they miss out on capturing something that could be really helpful to make closing sales much, much easier. So what I'm going to show you are the 3 ingredients that super powerful testimonials have. And what I'll also do is I'll give you a narrated breakdown of one of our testimonials that we have captured that is really, really super powerful, and people are really loving it. People are really paying attention to it. And I'll show you step by step what actually makes this testimonial powerful and helps make people decide whether they want to work with you or not. So why is this really important? Well, if you do it the right way, it's going to help you close more deals. It's going to help you with your branding. But if you do it the wrong way, it is actually going to work against you, and it will make you struggle when it comes to selling and closing deals. And what it will actually do is also put other people off, people who are clients who have good things to say about you. If you do it the wrong way, it will put them off from actually helping you out. Have you ever met with a prospect and you go through the whole entire meeting, you have a fantastic conversation, you talk about your business, you talk about your solutions, and they're going, yep, that sounds good. And then you come to a point where you get to a decision and they go, let me think about it. I'm sure you've come across this, as have we many, many times in the past. And what happens is that they are missing something from you that gets them over the line. And one of the things that is likely to be missing is a powerful testimonial. When we first started our business, nobody knew us, and it was really hard to land even easy sales. And the question that kept coming up was, who have you worked with? And what proof do you have? The funny thing I have realized lately is that so many established businesses are still at this stage. Since the beginning of time, no one's wanted to be the first person to try the poison mushroom. People want to see social proof. People want to see that someone else has tried it before and got good results. Now, if you can collect a small set of powerful testimonials, which is really quite easy to get if you have a decent product or service, then when it gets to the final part of the close, you can show your other prospects how your clients have actually benefited from your product or service that you have delivered, and you have delivered well. The third-party endorsement helps them make the decision because it gives them certainty that what you're doing is good and it works. Seems really easy, doesn't it? But so many people make the mistake of, number 1, not getting a testimonial to start with, or number 2, getting sucky testimonials. Now, I'm telling you this because if you know what to do, you're going to close more sales and you're going to increase your conversion rates. You're going to save money on marketing because you're not going to need that many leads to close as many deals. And if you don't do this, you could be losing customers that you should have got, like we did when we first started. So don't waste your time getting sucky testimonials when you could have got good ones. So here are the 3 ingredients that I'm going to give you to get super powerful testimonials so that you can close more deals, win more sales, and get the customers you should have got. I'm going to grab my notes so I can have a quick look here and give you each testimonial. Number 1, you've got to earn the testimonial. The person that you are getting the testimonial from really has got to speak from experience, and they've got to speak from the heart. This is going to be so much more powerful as opposed to someone who's reading a script that they don't really believe in. Maybe it's a script that you've given them that they're unfamiliar with, and perhaps they haven't actually experienced it. They could feel that it's exaggerated. When they read it, it's not going to come through. So number 1, first ingredient is get a testimonial from someone who you've earned the testimonial from, so they're going to speak from the heart. So number 1, you've got to earn that testimonial. Don't grab a testimonial where it's weak and someone's kind of like going, oh yeah, your product's all right, service is okay, but you kind of ask them for the testimonial and they do you a favor and they do it in a half-hearted kind of way. You write some sort of a script for them and they're reading something out that they don't really believe in. You don't want that. You want someone who has experienced your product or service and has told you how much they loved it. Ideally, someone who's actually given you referrals. Because if they're referring you, that's an indication that they actually really like your product or service enough to put their name and their credibility towards referring you and getting other people to come to you. Because if you get it wrong, if they get it wrong, they're going to get complaints from the people they refer to you. So if they're actually giving you referrals and multiple referrals, that's a good indication that you have earned a testimonial from that person. And when it comes time to actually filming something, they're going to be speaking from the heart, because when they speak to people, they're not going to be using a script to refer you. They're probably just going to be so excited that they've used your product or service and they've gotten really good results that they're going to actually go to people and just off the cuff, tell them how good you are. So that's the first ingredient. You want to earn the testimonial. Look out for those indicators, because those people who refer are very good prospects for helping you get a real good testimonial that you have earned. Number 2, you want raw and real testimonials. So you don't want something that has been scripted, that people are reading off a page and they're looking like robotically reading off a script that is providing you a testimonial that is boring, it's monotone. You want them to be excited. You want them to speak from the heart. So you want to capture a testimonial that is from them, from their own words, their own vocabulary, because they're going to say things in a way that you may not expect. Now, when we filmed the testimonial, which I'm going to break down for you with George, I didn't give him a script. In fact, I didn't even ask for a testimonial. We were actually doing an interview, and because he's gotten to know us, he has given us all the elements that essentially give us a testimonial. And he speaks it from his own vocabulary. He speaks it from his own heart. And when he does that, he comes up with magic words that I never would have thought of. So I'm going to break that down for you at the later part of this video. Watch out for that, because that is really important. That's a super powerful testimonial that if you can replicate something like that, it's going to capture the essence of what is in that person's mind, that's going to impress other people and give them the confidence to work with you. Now, the third ingredient, which looks like an absolute no-brainer, but people don't do this and they don't do it right. Get your testimonial professionally done. You're going to go and talk to a customer who's potentially going to give you something that is going to help you generate a whole load of sales. Invest in it. Put it together professionally. Get someone who knows what they're doing and who knows how to put testimonials together professionally. Someone who knows how to ask the right questions. Someone who knows to get the camera angles, the lighting, the audio, and everything all in place so that you don't miss out on capturing all the different things that someone could say. A good testimonial should take about 30 to 40 minutes, and that should be enough material to give you about 3 or 4 minutes. And with 3 or 4 minutes, you can turn it into a 30 to 40 second testimonial, just like I have with George. So we've got a 47-second version and we've got a 4-minute version. But if you don't know how to capture testimonials, you're going to point and shoot with your camera. You might do so for a minute. And in that minute, you've got about 2 seconds of good testimonial material. So you're going to miss out. And the other thing is you're going to make that person giving you the testimonial look bad, and they're going to be on camera looking bad on your website or on your social media. They're going to hate it, and they're not going to want to give you testimonials, and neither will other customers who see sucky testimonials you have filmed. In the past, I have wasted amazing testimonials because I tried to do it myself with my limited video capture and video editing skills, and I created sucky testimonials that should have been magnificent. Don't make the same mistake. Those are the 3 key ingredients. Now, I can't put every single bit of detail on a quick video. What I'll do, I'll leave a link where you can download a template that I use and a questionnaire that I have come up with. So this template with the questionnaire in there asks the questions that has allowed us to get really, really high quality, impactful, and compelling testimonials that has helped us win a lot of deals. I'm talking these testimonials have won us 7 figures at least in deals that we probably would have struggled to get if we didn't have the testimonial. Sometimes people trust the third-party testimonial more, especially in the beginning stages when you don't know each other, than you actually telling them how good you are, because it's better for someone else to tell them how good you are than you trying to do it yourself. But a lot of people, like I said, they don't do it, or when they do it, they don't know how to do it properly. So I'll create that template and I'll leave a link for you to download it, and you can use it to create your testimonials so that you have an idea of what kind of questions to ask when you are capturing the information. Now, what I'll do is break down a 47-second testimonial that I captured with George Ross. For those of you who don't know who George is the OG when it comes to business and business advisory. He has been an advisor to multiple billionaires, the most notable being Donald Trump. He was actually the executive vice president of the Trump Organization, and he was an entrepreneur himself. He had businesses in radio where he owned 10 radio stations, sold it for a lot of money. He had a law firm with over 160 lawyers. He had manufacturing businesses. He had warehousing, distribution. And he was also a judge in the #1 TV show in the US called The Celebrity Apprentice. Overall, a very, very successful entrepreneur. Look, getting a testimonial from George is a big deal because he is in his 90s. He means what he says and he says what he means. So hearing this from George was fantastic. And what made it even better was that it wasn't even supposed to be a testimonial. So the good thing about that is he is not trying to say certain things he has planned. He was just talking freely and we just captured it. And from that capture, we were able to put together a testimonial because the things that he said essentially were all the bits and pieces that we needed to put together something that was really even more powerful than just a standard testimonial. So without further ado, I am going to jump in and I'm going to show you by breaking down this video so you can learn what a great testimonial that is compelling, that is going to move people, that's going to help you close deals. I'm going to show you how it works. Okay, so here's George's testimonial.
If they say you seem to be very high on magnetic alliance, why? I'll be happy.
Okay, so the first thing that he does here is he actually asks a question. So he hooks the listener by asking a question, and he uses some really personal and interesting words that I would never use myself. Let's listen to it again.
If they say you seem to be very high on magnetic alliance, why?
If they say you seem to be really high on magnetic alliance, why? So not only is that a very interesting hook to get the listener to think, but he also uses the term high, which is such a descriptive and powerful word. You can imagine being on a high, being euphoric, being very happy, very ecstatic. That one sentence already becomes really powerful because of those two elements. Let me keep going.
I'll be happy to tell them.
I'll be happy to tell them. Okay, so he didn't give the answer straight away. He gave his endorsement. Not only did he ask a really powerful question and used very descriptive words of how he feels, what emotions he feels, he also has provided a personal endorsement, not just on video, but he is saying here he is willing to talk to anyone that wants to know why he thinks the way he thinks. That's powerful because it demonstrates that he is willing to give his time. He thinks it is important enough to provide his time, which makes this a powerful testimonial because not everyone will want to give a testimonial and field phone calls and on questions in relation to the testimonial or the company that they're talking about.
I think you have the potential for a great future. I think you've done exceptionally well up to now. And I think you have tremendous growth and that you could be a major force, investment force over a period of years. Looking at...
Okay, so right there, after he says, I'd be happy to tell them, he goes on to actually say what it is that he thinks that makes the company really successful and worth giving a testimonial to in his books. And he says 4 things there, sequentially one after the other. And the reason why this is powerful is because it just rolls off his tongue. He says it in his own words. Even when he said, why am I high on magnetic alliance? That was something that came from him, from his vocabulary. This is why I'm saying don't script your testimonials and give the script to the person reading it, whether they're the one who wrote it or you're the one who wrote it. I see it all the time where businesses try and get the person giving the testimonials to say something that doesn't really come from them. Yes, they're willing to give you a testimonial, but make it come from them. And because George used his own words spontaneously, he gave me something that I never would have thought of myself. And the way that he spontaneously just said those 4 reasons why he thinks we're a good company, he just rolls it off the tongue. So I'll go back and have a look at that again.
I think you have the potential for a great future. I think you've done exceptionally well up to now.
Okay, so just those 2 things. He says he thinks there's potentially a great future. So he's giving a projection of where he thinks the company is going to go. So he is telling everyone that going forward, everything is looking good. Then he goes back to say, you've done well up to now. exceptionally well up to now. So he's looking at the past. So in the past, what he's doing is he is providing a track record. Then he's given us the future state, which he thinks it's going to continue. So that is two very powerful things. A track record is really powerful, but where it's going is also powerful, because you may have the track record, but if things aren't looking very good for you in the near future or medium to long term, then that's not very good. But he gives the complete picture of the past and the future in that statement.
And I think you have tremendous growth, and that you could be a major force, investment force, over a period of years.
So he talks about having tremendous growth. So again, being his own words, tremendous. It's not something I would usually say, right? Tremendous growth. That's a very powerful statement. And he uses his own words to express it. Really, really important. And you could be a powerful force, a powerful investment force in the future. That is really a compelling use of words that has rolled out of his tongue naturally.
Looking at your operation, yes, you are an investor's dream.
Looking at your operation, yes, you are an investor's dream. That's another thing. Investor's dream. I don't go around walking around telling everyone, hey, we're an investor's dream. That is something that would be very difficult for me to say, but much more powerful if someone else says it, especially coming from someone the caliber of George Ross, who has worked with God knows how many investors in the past on huge businesses, huge deals, worked with billionaires on all sorts of different investments. And he's saying, you're an investor's dream. The use of words here is really compelling. It's spontaneous. It's unscripted. It comes directly from his heart, from what he knows by working with us for the last couple of years, mentoring us and our team and our business. He has gotten to understand our business, and that is something that you want, whether it's a mentor, it's a client, whoever it is that's giving you a testimonial, you want them to say it directly from the heart. So you have had to earn this. You can't just get someone to say these things without earning your testimonial. And if you're writing your testimonial out for the person to read, you haven't earned it. If you've earned it, they're going to be fluid in their communication of what they think of you.
Because you have the flexibility to take advantage of a situation anywhere in the world when it happens, if it works for you. It could.
Okay, so here he's talking about flexibility. So he talked about the past. Okay, you've done well in the past. You have a great future. And he's talking about the flexibility. This flexibility is really important in the current times that we are in, where anything could change and anything could get disrupted. It might be fine for a company to be going forward on a straight line, but if something changes, then they get thrown off. So he has included not only the past, the future, but the ability to adapt, which is really, really important here. So I'm giving you these things to think about so that when you're getting your testimonial, you can add these different angles or ask questions that will draw these different angles out. Like I said, this wasn't intended to be a testimonial. This was actually an interview where George just started saying all these things about us, and it was something that could be put together in a testimonial because he's given us all the ingredients to use in a testimonial.
That's a dream. I honestly said at this point, if I were 20 years younger.
Okay, so he mentions the dream again. So that is a very powerful way to end it. And what we've done here is we actually have a longer testimonial. So when he says, if I were 20 years younger, and then we end it there. And what that is going to do is for anyone who is interested and intrigued, they're going to go and then check out our other videos or click the links if it's something that they're interested in having a look at. And why that is powerful is I'm talking here about the third ingredient, which is to get it professionally done. Someone who knows how to put together testimonial videos will know how to do the graphics. So this was done on Zoom. It wasn't very pretty and the video wasn't very high quality. But because they're professional video editors, videographers, and professional people in marketing, then they have made something that looks pretty average look as good as it can possibly look, with all the background, headings, and the borders that come with this video. Then they leave the video ending on that hook. Again, where you go, what was he going to say? And if you were interested and intrigued by that, then you would check out the other videos. If you weren't, then you don't have to waste your time because it's only a 46-second testimonial. So leaving it off with a bit of intrigue is something that is very captivating, very powerful marketing. And that's why I'm saying don't try and do it yourself if you're not a marketer, if you're not a content person or a video person who doesn't know how to do copy and you don't have the editing skills. Leave it to professional people to help you with your marketing. Otherwise, you'll waste some really good testimonials. And you can actually turn something that is a pretty decent, powerful testimonial into something pretty average if you don't produce it in a way that is aimed towards marketing as opposed to just capturing what a person says, which is what a lot of people end up doing. So I hope that has helped you out. I hope that you have learned a few things about how to create powerful testimonials. If you like our content, check out our channel, subscribe, share, like, follow, and just keep a lookout for the stuff we're doing in the future. We're going to have a lot of helpful things for business owners and anyone who wants to succeed in business. Until next time, bye for now.